I let it sit there and let a certain type of music play that helps put that vibration into the oil. So for me, that is a very important step because it's a way that it's activating it. So hello beautiful creatures, welcome to my channel. I am Aradia, the Witch of Dark Light, and I hope you all are doing well. So this video is another video in this series of the tag created by Ivy the Occultist called the 12 Days of Yule. Now I have not done a video for each day, so I'm jumping in here when I can. But I had to do this specific video because it's something that's dear to my heart and a big part of who I am. So this video is going to be about the winter glamour, sharing with you the things that I love to do that has something to do with glamorizing something and charming something. So if that's something you want to hear about, please do stick around, grab a seat, grab something to drink. I don't know how long I'm going to be because I have 3 things that I want to share with you that I do during this time. I do it throughout the year. However, I tweak it a little bit when it comes to winter season. So let's get into it.
Can't have one without the other. The dark without the light.
So the first thing I want to talk about is the body oil that I create. I usually work with kind of the same aromas. However, I do kind of tweak it a little bit depending on some things that I have found or new aromas that I have come across throughout the year. But what I usually do is put together an oil and add a little shimmer in it, and then activated and enchanted to wear as a fragrance that is kind of glamorizing things. Now, when you talk about glamour, it is you first have to feel the glamour in order for it to work its best, in order for it to exude out, in order for it to take effect with things around you and people around you. So this is why I love aromas. And what you can kind of do is work on with aromas that you truly love, and you know that when you wear them, this is something that works best with your pheromones, because we all have different body odors and scents that works best for us. So what I have done this year is I work with, when I work with mostly something that I'm going to rub on my body and in my body oils, I typically use jojoba as the base. So this year what I did was I use, and I'm going to share it, I have it right here. I use Buhkoor, or Buhkoor, if I'm saying that right. But this is the package here that it comes in. I have been using it as an incense for about the last year now. So I thought about using it in 2 ways. One is in the oil, and the next is what I'm going to share with you as the next thing. But what I have done is I break off a piece of the Buhkoor, and if I'm not saying it right, sorry, but I break off a little piece of it, and if you have a time and want to let it just set for about 4 to 6 weeks, you can, to let it the essence of the Buhkoor get in the oil. But what I did was, because I thought about it at the last minute, like, oh, I can use this also in my oil. I put it in a small container, a microwave safe container. And you don't have to use a microwave. You can find a way to heat it up using the double boiler method on the stove. But what I simply did, because it just took, didn't even take a minute, because I only used a little bit in a small container. I poured a little jojoba oil, and I broke off a chunk of the Buhkoor and I put it in the oil, and only put it on not even a minute, because it heats up quickly, and it could be something, a fragrance within the incense, the Buhkoor incense, but it heats up very quickly and it breaks down. So what I did was I used a cheesecloth and I drained the oil. After that, I added my favorite oil that I use. I have a couple of perfumed oils that you purchase to make perfume with. So I went through some of those and I added a couple of drops of that. So this may not be something that you have around your home, but if you want to use the Buhkoor, you can. I'll put a link in the description of this video where you can get it at. And you can just add a fragrance oil, an essential oil that you love with it, or just use it by itself. But what I did was I used one of my fragrance oils and only put a couple of drops, and then I also put one drop of frankincense in it. I shook that up, and then what I also do is I add some shimmer makeup that I have. I just take a little pinch of this shimmer powder and I place it inside the oil, shake that up. So the last step is very important, because everyone probably will use different ingredients. You may not even use the Buhkoor incense, but I do recommend it because it is very alluring. It is very glamorizing. But after you have fixed the oil, what you're going to do is let it sit next to a speaker, or what I did was I placed it, after it was fixed, I placed it on my TV, where my TV is at, and I let some romantic music play, like vampire glamorizing music. So I let it sit there and let it soak up, because frequency definitely affects things. So I let it sit there and let a certain type of music play that helps put that vibration into the oil. So for me, that is a very important step, because it's a way that it's activating it. So then what I do is, after it's ready, I will just simply dab a little bit on my wrist and use it that way. It helps me tremendously, putting on a scent that's specific for me, that I love, and it's activated to glamour. Definitely has been a big part of my practice, using scents. So that is one thing that I do during this time of the year. Like I said, I do it throughout the year, but I just tweak it a little differently for winter. For example, like I put my shimmer powder in it to kind of bring a light to this darker part of the year. So the next thing that I did was, at some point, I don't know if it was over the summer, but I made some tinctures, and with those tinctures I created a rose tincture. So I broke up some roses and poured some EverClear over that and let that sit for 6 weeks. I have it here, actually. So this is it here. After the 6 weeks, I drained the liquid, and then I have here, I was thinking about, but I don't really like rose essential oil. It's very strong for me. So instead I put violet. I have it here. If you can see that, I put I think it was about 3 drops to this amount here, but it smells so good. So there's two things that I do with this. I use it to when I'm doing like love magic or anything that has to do with glamour, romance, or love. Even abundance sometimes. I will wipe down the tools that I'm using and just incorporate it into the magic that I'm doing. And another way that I do that is I have a spray bottle here. You see it? I have a spray bottle here that I use, and in the same way when I'm using it in magic, or just when I feel like I want to spritz it because it smells really good, I'll spritz it in the air or spritz it on the tools that I'm using, and just use some wisdom with what you're putting it on. But yeah, so this is, and you can actually wear this as a fragrance as well, since it's in a little spritz bottle. But I love incorporating like the use of roses in my magic, because Venus rules my chart. The last thing that I do is and I'm looking at it because it's right here, but the last thing that I do is I have a love attraction blend, and I use it in like all of my love magic that I do, all of my love spell working that I do. But what I do each year is, at this time of year, I find a way to tweak it to, just bump up the magic and make it more potent. So this year what I did was I added the Buhkoor. I ground it up and added it into my mix. I'll show you the big container that's almost it's almost gone, but I have it here. So that's it with, and I have it here. I saw these on my website. I just recently changed the containers, but I don't know if you see it here. So so I am so happy. Like, I'm putting Buhkoor in everything, but this is the big thing that I have been doing with what I tweak at the end of the year for winter. So I ground it up and added it to my already created love blend, and I also added some ground coffee to it for that action, that quick amping up action. So because I thought I did that before, but I have not in the this particular love blend. So I added the ground coffee and added some ground Buhkoor. And what I do with this is quite a lot of things that I do with this. I use it in all of my spell working when it comes to attraction and love. But I also use it to charm things. So I will, if I want to have like a necklace that I want to charm and enchant for glamour, I will sprinkle this, or even just sit the necklace or whatever it is in the midst of this blend. And also what you can do is, because I've done that, and I've done that quite a few times, and I've done this years ago, and years ago when I found out that it works, I have been doing it ever since. You can take a little charm bag and place whatever your love blend is and enchant it to glamour, and then wear it someplace on your body. I will not be sharing my exact love blend, but if you would like, and I have to create more, so if you want some, there is a few left on my website. So if you do want some, it will come. You can either get it in this container, and I think I'm gonna have the option, by the time you see this, have the option for a smaller container. So yeah, this works. This really works. So these are some of the things that I do to glamour, to romanticize things. So this glamorizing things, enchanting things with glamour, in whatever way that you do it, is very helpful during this time of the year. Darkness could be overwhelming for a lot of people. So bringing a little glamour uplifts your spirit, and it kind of, I don't want to say fantasize, but essentially when you romanticize something, it is kind of taking you into the world of fantasy. But the real world meets fantasy, right? Because if you are putting a glamour on something, even yourself, you may be romanticizing in that moment, but what it's actually doing is uplifting your spirits, raising your vibrations, raising, your energy, and bringing you out of that oppressive energy. So I think the act of glamour is very important in a practice, a spiritual practice, very important in life in general. But yeah, so these are the 3 things that I wanted to share with you. My body oil, my rose spray, and my love blend. So if you have any questions about what it is that I share, let me know. And do go over and check out my website where I have this at. And I'm not going to promise you by the time you go over there that it will still be available. But I can promise you that I am in the process of making more that goes with the correct timing, celestial timing, and all of the above. So yeah, do go over and check out my website and see the other things that I offer. I have, nope. My money blend is actually out as well, but go over and check it out. It will, I'm also making more of that. I just sold the last 2 that I had. So yeah, these are, if you have any questions, again, let me know about this process. And yeah, so I hope you got something out of this, and I hope you find ways to put a little glamour in your life, in your magic. So until the next video, I love you all, and into the shadows. Because I think this is something that can help. And then I have it here actually.